Well, if this doesn't tickle your pickle, I don't know what will. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Cities Skylines and welcome to Cities Skylines Airports. I am so excited to be jumping back in with some mods, with some custom assets, with my traffic managers and my anarchies and my trees and my forest brushes and my terrain editors and all that good stuff that we know and love in Cities Skylines on PC. We also have a very important order of business to get to. Something very, very important that's carried over from my Everything New in Cities Skylines Airports video, which if you haven't seen that, it will be linked potentially in the comments, potentially in the description. If it's not in either of those, then it's on the channel somewhere, but that's besides the point. There were a lot of comments in that video. A lot of the comments were like, oh man, I'm excited for this. I'm keen to see what I can do with Cities Skylines Airports. But a considerable number of the comments were about the burger story. You know, that time I went to the Paradox Interactive offices in Stockholm, Sweden, and ate a burger that wasn't mine. Yeah, that was a surprising number of comments were asking me about that, so I figured today is the day that we can talk about that story, and potentially one or two others. But first, before we get to any of that, we need to take a look at what we're dealing with. So we do have a whole bunch of mods running. I've got various anarchies. I've got various things. I'm not going to list off every single mod because I don't remember them, but I do have a lot of different anarchies and things like that. That's going to make it easier for me to build what I want to build. We've got things like Traffic Manager. We've got things like Move It. You know, the essentials. And we're starting on this beautiful map, whose name or whatever's name I can't remember, but it is one of the new ones, and I do like this river. I'm kind of excited to do some stuff with the river at some point. But before we even get there, I do want to try and avoid building a battery. And if you don't know what the battery is, check out my super easy start in Cities Skylines video. Again, probably not going to be linked in the comments below, but it'll be somewhere on this YouTube channel. Let's get started. Let's just start building. It feels like forever since I've started a new city in Cities Skylines, so I'm kind of keen to just dive into it and see what we can do. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and build a good-looking roundabout to start with. So we're going to be looking for, let's see, we have that kind of gap going on there. If I go up this way and I go something like this and something a little bit like this, that's the same gap as down here. So we want to do the same thing up at this end as well. And while I'm doing this, I want to mention that you might have noticed that we're not starting with the usual $70,000 that you tend to start with in Cities Skylines or somewhere around that. I kind of wanted to start with about 200,000 just because I am so used to starting my cities in a very specific way that I figure I don't want to go broke. That's basically the reason that I'm starting with the 200,000 is I don't want to go broke. Anyway, this is going to be the foundation of our roundabout. So what we want to do now is go into all of these spots here. And essentially what I'm doing is building some scaffolding. I'm building some scaffolding that's going to let me do some cool things. So we're going to come over this way. We're going to go 10 units there. We're going to go 10 units back. We're going to go 10 units there. And 10 units back. We're going to go 10 that way and 10 back. And then essentially what we do is we go in and we connect this bit, we connect this bit, and we do that same thing the entire way around this roundabout, which is going to be the initial entrance to the soon-to-be beautiful city of Nerdinburgh, which I've actually never said out loud until that moment, and suddenly I slightly regret that city name because it doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely as Edinburgh, but I've committed to it now, so we're kind of stuck with it. Anyway, this is our initial roundabout. I'm going to use Move It just to make these a little bit more curvy because, well, real cities have curves after all. So we'll get these nicely touched up a little bit, and then what we'll do is we'll go in and use Traffic Manager to just set the entire roundabout to have priority so that traffic behaves kind of nicely. And hopefully that will, you know, help it to behave kind of nicely. Now, the next thing that I want to do And I arguably could have done this a little bit sooner, and maybe we should. Maybe we should get rid of these roads and just use avenues. That might be a little bit better. Let's experiment. Let's have a little bit of fun. The one thing I really want to do with this particular series of cities is just have fun with it and just chill and see what kind of chaos we can get into. So if I do a little something like that, and I go in with a nice one-way road here and here, and then I go in and say, you know, curve this guy a little bit like, say that, curve this guy a little bit like, say that. We can get rid of this bit. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look perfect, but it doesn't look terrible. And I think honestly, I think I'm going to go with that. I kind of like it. So let's do that. And I also need to make sure, because the shortcut to align all of the lanes there is also the same shortcut as toggling node snapping. So every time I do Control S to set up the lanes, it's going to toggle my node snapping, which is going to be a bit of a pain, but we'll live with it. And I think I am going to do this. I think I am going to just set this up with avenues, because I think it's going to be easier than having weird crossover points. So let's go ahead and do that. And while I'm doing this, I think we'll get the burger story out of the way, because it's not as exciting as I feel people think it is. And I feel a little bit bad about that, because I think I replied to a comment somewhere or on Twitter that I would 100% go into the story, and it's just, it's not, it's really not that exciting. So yeah, we'll see what you think of this one. Anyway, I was in Stockholm. I was in Stockholm in 2000, and I think 18. I think it was 2018. And myself and a bunch of other YouTubers, streamers, whatever we were filming the Stellaris YouTuber Wars Season 2. So Paradox had brought us all out, and they were like, hey, we're doing this for 2 days. We're going to put you in Stockholm. We're going to have a great time. And at the end of day 2, we all went out for food. And we wound up actually going to the Paradox offices in Stockholm, which was an experience, because I've been playing Paradox games for a really, really long time. So having the opportunity to go to their office and sort of like be, in that space was an honor. I know that sounds maybe a little bit silly, but it was an honor to be there, because it's like, I love their games. I love what they do, and their games have contributed to a massive change in my life even back then. So I say even back then as though they still don't, but yeah, it was surreal being there. So I'm in the Paradox offices, and I'm sitting there, and they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna get some food. What does everybody want? And it wound up being that we were ordering from like this burger joint. So we're getting burgers, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. We're getting food at the Paradox offices. That's a story I'll tell the grandkids one day. And I'm 28, I think, so I've yet to tell that story, but one day, potentially. Anyway, we're getting food at the Paradox offices, and that's cool. I've just got to be honest. That's just cool. That's not something I ever expected. I'm also thinking I'm going to bring this road back a little bit and connect it down here instead of what I'm doing. So let me just refund all of this. And let me pause the game while I'm doing this as well. I have no idea why I've got the game running doing this. Let's just do this instead. We'll do 20, because I think that's going to line up better. So yeah, we're getting food at the Paradox offices. That's the point that I'm getting at here. And we're getting burgers. And I'm like, oh, I don't eat a lot on burgers. I don't put like salad or whatever you want to call it on there. I'm not one of those people that will absolutely cover a burger in lettuce and tomato and all that stuff. I'm actually, I really enjoy just a simple burger. I'm a really big fan of just a simple like cheeseburger, or even, well, no, I'd say I'd be lying if I said I didn't have burgers with cheese all the time. I am a really big fan of cheese. It's making my my diet and exercise thing. It's making it very difficult being a fan of cheese. But point being, I wanted a simple burger. That was my order. Just a plain, simple burger, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, nothing over the top. And not a couple of hours later, maybe 30 minutes later, the food arrives. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Get in. We're gonna eat at the Paradox offices. This is kind of cool. So, you know, we're sitting down to our food. They're passing out the boxes from the delivery place. And it's like, oh, this one is this one is that, this one's that. You know, who ordered this, who ordered that, who ordered whatever. And it's like, oh, who, you know, and I'm sitting there kind of quietly trying to be polite or whatever I was doing. And I kind of go up and I look, because it's all in different boxes, and I look at it, I'm like, oh, that one's mine. I think that one's mine. So I lift a burger. I lift the burger and I take it back to where I was sitting, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna eat this. You know, it's kind of the plan with the burger was to eat it. So I get back to where I was sitting. I open the box. I look at the burger. I'm like, oh, this looks a bit weird. Not in a bad way, but definitely like, I thought it was like, it might be a smash burger. It might be whatever, you know, it could be, it's maybe a different way of doing a burger that this specific place does. I don't know. It looked a bit weird, but I thought, you know what? I need to play it cool. I need to play it cool. I can't be that guy. I can't be that guy that's like, I don't know that this is what I ordered. You know, I'm not really feeling it. Can I complain? I didn't want to be that guy. So I didn't say anything. And I didn't eat right away because there were some of us, I think me included, were having drinks. We were sitting down, you know, after a 2-day shoot for Stellaris, we were having some drinks. It was a good show. It was a successful shoot. We were quite proud of the work we'd done. So it was like, let's have some drinks. So I didn't eat right away because, you know, anyone that wanted to cheers, I was like, I'm here for it. And that was that, right? I didn't eat right away. So, you know, someone raises a beer, someone raises a glass. Hey, cheers, job well done. It was great. It was a really good moment. And it was like, all right, let's dig in. Let's start eating. Let's start, you know, getting our way through all of this. And that's when I realized something wasn't quite right. That's when I realized something was a bit wrong with my burger. Because I bit into it. And when I bit into this burger, I immediately thought to myself, I'm not 100% sure this is meat. And about as quickly as I bit into the burger, one of the Paradox guys kind of like goes, hey, has anyone got a veggie burger by mistake? Because what I've got is not a veggie burger, and I ordered a veggie burger. And I look down at my burger and I'm like, oh, that's why it tastes like cardboard. That's why it feels like cardboard. I have taken the only veggie burger and I've just taken a massive bite out of it. Now, thankfully, this was pre-COVID, so taking a huge chunk out of the veggie burger wasn't really the end of the world because it was pre-COVID, so, you know, it was whatever. Why is my terrain being so weird? I don't like this. Yeah, you know, not the end of the world. Wasn't ideal. I will say that. It wasn't ideal to take a massive bite out of this veggie burger, what with my giant rabbit teeth and all that. But anyway, I thought to myself, oh God, what have I done? I'm that guy. I'm the weird one at this event that's just like taking a massive bite out of someone else's specially ordered burger. So I sheepishly kind of raise my hand and I'm like, I think that's me. I think I've got your burger. And it's here, but I have slightly taken a bit of a chunk out of it. And I thought to myself, I said that sheepishly because I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the weird one that's done that. I've just done it, but I don't want to be the guy that's just taking the bite out of the burger. And, you know, I suddenly was that guy. But thankfully, the guy whose burger I had just, you know, half inhaled was like, hey, don't worry about it. I'll eat it. That's fine. And then he like hands me what was the most amazing cheeseburger that I think I've ever had. And I hand him something that resembles what can only be described as something you would find in a store like in the UK, Lidl. or Lidl, if you will. Or if you're in the US, perhaps Walmart. I don't know. I've never actually been in a Walmart, but I hear a lot of things. It looked like food that had been abused, basically. That's kind of how I would describe. I hand him this burger that's like half falling apart. There's big rabbit teeth marks in it. And I'm like, here, I'm sorry. And that was it. That's the entire burger story. There's genuinely not a whole lot else to it. That is the entire burger story. And that's exactly how it happened. And I will never forget it for as long as I live, because going to the Paradox offices was a treat. And I have a picture of me somewhere in those offices. And I love it. I've been thinking recently, because I recently got back from a trip to London, and I took a lot of pictures. And I'm not usually a picture person, which is maybe funny, because for a while there I was trying to be like a face cam kind of YouTuber, but I'm not typically a picture person. I've never been a huge fan of how I look, but I've recently started trying at least to take care of myself better. So I started working out, like crazy, and I'm really enjoying it because I'm very quickly seeing results. But I also got some stuff for a skin condition. I'm just oversharing in this video, but I got some stuff for a skin condition that I've had for about a year, which has had me really self-conscious about pictures. And I've just been like, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, the picture thing, the Paradox office picture thing. The point I was getting at is I want to find that and I want to frame it, because it's just cool, man. There's a lot of stuff I've done with like YouTube that I wish I had gotten pictures of and framed, because I haven't gotten that many pictures from anything I've done over the years. So I think now is as good a time as any to get started, right? Anyway, what I've done here is, I don't really know what this is, but this is the layout we're starting with for the city for some reason. And my thinking is we're going to do industry over this way. And we'll do like, I guess, commercial and residential kind of around here, just because we can. So do I maybe want to do like a one-way system here? I don't know that I do. Maybe for this bit, we could do like a one-way system. So maybe like this road is like one way going around there. And then maybe this is one way going in the opposite direction. So it kind of goes that way. And I guess that's something. Maybe this guy is like one way coming towards the avenue. This guy's going one way back. This one's going towards. This one's going back. Something like that. This guy's going that way. And then this guy's kind of going, I guess, that way. Might be weird. Might not be a good idea to do one way on that at all, but we'll give it a shot. This one here isn't one way either. I don't think it should be. I actually don't know if this one should be one way either. I don't know. Or this one. I don't know. We'll leave it. We'll leave it for now and we'll see what happens. We do need to get water in here, of course. We need to get power in here as well. This is why I'm starting with $200,000, because it's going to make my life so much easier. So what I think we'll do is we'll throw some power right there. And then in terms of water, we do have water towers available. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pipes in first. So I'm going to put some pipes like out here. Now, obviously these will move eventually, but what I can do is just snap some water towers to those. We can connect those all together. And then basically, thanks to my beautiful grid, we can just run these pipes to essentially wherever they're needed. So we'll run them kind of over here, run it up that way. We'll kind of bring it down to here. This whole section over here on the right needs to be covered as well. So we'll bring it up this way and across. And then I guess we'll kind of go just around all of the roads that we need to go on. So we'll come straight down to about there. We'll cut right under the avenue, straight under the roundabout, straight to there. And I guess for here, I really, oh man. Being able to curve the pipes around corners in a way that makes sense would be great. There is sort of a way to do it. It's just a little bit fiddly. It's a little weird. Like if we do sort of this, you can kind of curve it around the corner, and I guess that looks okay. Yeah, I guess that looks okay. We'll kind of do the same thing the entire way over here as well. So we'll do that. And that does look okay, I think. So pretty much same thing here. Just bring the pipes underneath the road and connect it up as best we can. That curve isn't quite as neat as the other ones, but it will certainly do. And I'm probably going to regret doing this this kind of curve later on, once it comes to rebuilding some of this, because that's another thing I want to try and do as much as I can with this particular series and city, is I want to rebuild things, because so often when I play City Skylines, I get this, like, not fear, but this reluctance to rebuild anything. I never really rebuild anything in my cities. So I do want to make sure I do that, but I'm also really liking this curve, I'm not gonna lie. These curvy pipes are kind of a vibe, so I don't know. This will be a total pain to rebuild, I guess, but we'll do it eventually. That's an issue for future Dylan to worry about. That is not an issue that I need to worry about right now. So we'll go ahead and we'll just bring these pipes around here. That looks pretty solid. That's pretty good coverage. That's going to be some water down there, power over there, and then sewage. Now, sewage is something I'm thinking we use a water treatment plant for. So we have some choices. We have the inland water treatment plant, then we have the eco one. I think for now, we'll just use the eco one, because I think that's probably the smart move. Or sorry, not the eco one, the inland one, not the opposite. The filthy one, basically, is what we're using, and that's going to let us deal with sewage. That's going to be water right there. That's going to be power over here. We obviously will need to bring some power lines over to the rest of everything else, but that's totally okay. We can manage that. We'll bring some power lines to there. We can, oh boy. Okay, getting some power lines around all of this is going to be slightly tricky, but I think what we'll do is this, and this. So it kind of goes down around the roundabout, and we'll bring it to here. And I think that's fine. Now, in terms of a connection to everything, I guess we probably do want to do, yeah, let's do this as well. Bring that down there so they have power once everything gets built. And I think what we'll do to start, plain and simple, is we'll go in here with some commercial. We'll go in here with some commercial, and then everything down this way can be some residential. We'll do some residential here as well. In fact, if I get rid of you and I do this, that might be a little bit better. In fact, if I get rid of you and I do this, that might be a little bit better. So we'll fill that with commercial, that with commercial. That'll be some residential coming up right there. We'll do, I guess, the same thing at the end of the street. We'll do a little bit of this, even though it's going to be kind of weirdly laid out. But that should give us a power connection. It does give us a power connection. So we now have working water. We now have residential coming up. We don't have as much money as I would like. So I think what might be a really good idea is going ahead and just immediately filling this space with residential zoning, because I think I'm going to be kind of grateful for it. And then what I'll do is fill this bit with commercial. I will fill this bit with residential, and I'm actually going to take out this section so that that entire bit hopefully builds around, and hopefully we end up actually making enough money to get this this city up and going. I'm definitely a little bit nervous about the fact that I've spent $160,000 building not a whole lot, really. And then over here, we are going to need some industry. So let's just fill this bit. Let's fill this bit. And I guess we fill up this and this as well. In fact, let's just cross over the street like that. And that'll give them some jobs. That'll give them somewhere to work. That'll give reason for the commercial to start building. And you don't have water. Of course you don't. The one, the one house that didn't get water. There you go, buddy. That'll keep you nice and happy. And yeah, we just need all of this to kind of build around. But this seems like a good little start. I like this. I like this a lot. It's not a battery, right? It's not a battery. That's what's important. And we do have all this building around as well. So we should being the key word there, be able to do some good things. I'm also thinking, can I get away with, can I get away with giveaway signs? I'd like to set it. I don't want this to be a giveaway. I want that to be priority. Yeah, we'll try that. We'll see what giveaway signs end up looking like on that whole section there. We'll do the same there as well. So no traffic lights, just giveaway signs along the entire length of everything. You guys up here still don't have power. My money is still dropping, but I think we'll live. I think once this connects, they will get power. They will be a little bit happier. And what's the first milestone that we're looking for? 480. That's when we get taxes, garbage, healthcare, and education. I should know that. There's a lot of things about Cities Skylines that really I should just kind of know roughly off the top of my head, but I just don't. I don't know. I know people don't like it when I take lengthy breaks from this game, but I like taking the breaks because when I come back to it, it's refreshing to kind of relearn certain things. Like some things in this game really are like riding a bike. You never forget. You know, you never forget how to use certain things. But then other things are like, oh, that I remember that sort of, and it's just cool. I just like it. Anyway, we have more demand for residential, so let's fill up this part. Let's fill up this guy as well. And hopefully that's going to push us into a spot where we start seeing a little bit more in the way of money coming in. I also need to get my hands on a mod that will let me disable zoning on certain roads. Although, once we get our hands on highways, we won't need to worry about that. And this is good news. We've got taxes, we get loans, garbage, healthcare, etc., etc. So let's immediately go in here and crank this up to 11 across the board. I can never remember if it's 11 or 12. I think I've seen a lot of comments over the years saying that you can go to 12%, but I like to sit at about 11, so not really going to do that, I don't think. And I suppose we should get a medical clinic in here as well. Let's do a little medical clinic right there. I think that's a good little spot for it, right in the heart of everything. And then next to it, I'm pretty sure I can get one of the small fire stations or small police stations. So that'll be beautiful. And this actually doesn't look too bad. This looks all right. Traffic so far is doing what I need it to do, which honestly, if traffic at this stage of the game was terrible, I would probably just stop playing it, to be blunt about it. If I was running into traffic problems this early, I would probably just, you know, Alt F4 and never come back. Never look near City Skylines again. It would be embarrassing. Let's get power connected there. And I want terrain control before I start moving this industry into this whole area. Because the idea is that I actually want to use the resource in the ground there. I don't think this will be an industrial area forever, but that'll be a good way to make some money kind of early in the game, and that's what I'm looking for. So I guess what we could do is we could expand industry a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy with it. We'll just expand it, you know, that little bit right there. And that'll hopefully give everyone some jobs. We've got commercial still building. This entire new residential area is almost full. So we'll come in here and we'll fill up that little bit as well. And we should probably look at education before we go much further. Oh, okay. We're a worthy village. We've got emergency services. That's fantastic. We've got forestry and agricultural. We've got, there we go. We've got some services. I do want to go with education first, though. So let's see. We could sort of slap it up that way. I think keeping it on a main road could be interesting, but tucking it in there could be kind of cool as well. Putting it down there, I don't think is an amazing idea. We could go right there. We could go, I think right there is probably a good spot for the elementary school. And then if we look at the fire station, this little one, like I said, fits really, really nicely next to the medical center. And this little police station does as well. Now, unfortunately, it's got terrible coverage because that's a one-way road. That's a bit of a problem. I might turn that into a two-way road. And I think I'm going to, simply because the coverage for the police station needs to be better. So if I put this guy here, the coverage is suddenly much better than it would have been. And that takes up that space, you know, that little bit of space that we had. Absolutely fantastic. I kind of want to do the same thing with the fire station, just opposite. So right about there, we have all of our emergency services right in the middle of this little area. Not too far away from the industry. And also, speaking of industry, it needs some recycling. So let's do... Oh man, recycling's never as efficient as the incinerators, the landfills, but I'm gonna go with recycling. Let's do 1 for now. I don't think I'm gonna need 2. I think we can get away with just the 1. Hopefully, we can get away with just the 1. Do we have districts as well? We absolutely do. Okay. Let's start having some fun with districts really early on, because my thinking here is that we probably do want to make sure that traffic isn't going too crazy through all of this space. So I feel like this bit here can essentially be its own district. And then maybe up to here as well. I don't know exactly what way I want to do this. I'm not really 100% sure. I guess that entire bit can just be a district, right? So we'll just kind of bring it around. We'll, nicely glue it to the roads as we always do. So something a bit like that. I guess just the entire thing. Should be a district. And we'll see what we can do with it. I don't know if I want to put an Old Town policy on it. I obviously don't want Old Town policies, which, by the way, if you don't know what the Old Town policy is, it will stop traffic from using roads unless the traffic is trying to go to a destination in that district, essentially. So I guess this outer road should not be a part of it if we're going to do that. So any traffic kind of going around can use that road to get around. The policy isn't active right now, but if it was, I guess that works. That'll be fine. Let's also throw in more zoning because we do have some pretty big demand for a few things. Let's also do this. We'll kind of outline the entire area with a whole bunch of commercial. And I feel like this bit as well can probably be outlined. And then what we'll do is we'll throw some commercial here. We'll throw some commercial right about here. And we'll throw residential into those 2 spaces there, leaving this to be like a nice park. That's kind of what I picture this area being, is some kind of nice park. We don't actually have landscaping yet. We're getting very, very close to getting it, but just not yet. We also don't have enough power, so I think we'll just throw ourselves in another one of these guys. Ooh. Oh, we just got park areas and industry areas. And fishing. Okay. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I will absolutely take it. We got the fences, we've got the keys and the flood walls and all that good stuff. Sorry, did I say keys? I meant quays. We've got all that good stuff. So I can start making this area look nice, and that's going to be really important. Now, power is sorting itself out, which is exactly what we want it doing. And I guess now that I have landscaping, I want to go in and just make some of this space better. So like this corner, flatten it and smooth it, right? So just smooth all that out. We'll sort of smooth this bit and just generally kind of smooth the whole area because I think it looks a bit better. So doing that now gives us the option to... Ooh, can I get this to snap the way I would really want it to? I don't know that I can. Okay, that's going to be slightly annoying. I think what I'll do is I'm going to use anarchy. And I'm just going to put that right there. And I'm going to put that right, I guess, there. And that just, that cuts out a decent chunk of the space, right? It gives us this entire area. And we could also do this. So that really nicely cuts out the space as well. And then this guy can kind of continue straight through. This guy could continue straight to, I guess, there. And this one's not necessary. And that's going to be a park. It's not necessarily going to be like an official park, but it's going to be, well, I say it's not going to be an official park. It could be. In fact, I don't see why it shouldn't be. Let's make a park. Let's do that. Let's make a park. This early in the game, let's make a park.